There's one thing that unites us, it's that we are all TV watchers. In fact, there are nearly 1.5 million TVs in this country. Whether you just watch the Irish channels or you're an avid sports watcher or entertainment junkie and you are buying in satellite packages, there is a package there for you. Do you know, though, if you've got the best deal? Are you paying too much? And with the move to digital TV planned for the years ahead, are you, and more to the point, I suppose, is your TV prepared for this move? Tina Leonard is with me now. Tina, good morning.
Morning, Miles.
You've been researching the TV market first, but let's talk first of all about digital TV. I mean, to a lot of people are sort of thinking digital TV.
What the
who
hell
cares?
is that?
Yeah, I mean, we've already got it. But we're talking here about a major switch off in, I think it's 2012, isn't
2012, and you're right, we do already have digital TV, but the point is that there is an EU directive, which means that every member state has to move over from the analogue terrestrial public, all these phrases are fantastic, public broadcasting.
You can't stick the old hanger into the back of the...
Well, the days of the days of the hanger at the top of the telly really will be gone. But the EU directive says that this change has to happen by 2012. So the switch off in Ireland is planned for 2015, rather, the EU directive says. So the switch over in Ireland is planned for 2012. There isn't an exact date, and in fact, there was supposed to be a switch over happening by this August. Now they're saying 2010, but switch off completely another couple of years hence. But it's the biggest change really from moving from black and white TV to colour, and you're wondering, well, what's the difference between analogue, which is what we have at the moment, and digital, which is we also have at the moment, but digital will be all we have come some years. And the difference is in how the content is sent to us, I suppose. And TV content is sent like data with digital TV. It's like the way your computer works. And for one station, you have one analogue station, one digital station. You can, with the same space using digital technology, you can fit so much more. You can fit so many stations in the same space, and other services too, interactive, internet, better quality pictures and sound, high definition, all of that. So it's a different system of getting the information to us, and better, of course. And as you say, it's already out there. I mean, ComReg, the Commission for Telecommunications Regulation, indicate that 55%, so more than half of TV households, have digital TV on at least one of their tellies right now. So a lot of people already have
about it, basically.
No, well, and having said that, I don't think anyone really needs to worry about it. The first really important thing to say is that existing free to air stations, RT1, RT2, TV3, TG Cahir, free to air broadcasting isn't going away. That'll still be there. The difference will be that if you have, as you said, you won't be able to put your your hanger or your rabbit ears on top of your television. And for example, you'll already have noticed some change if you live in the southeast.
Yeah.
Because of course in the southeast, people were getting an overspill from the aerials, and there's an aerial in Wales in a place called Preseli, high on a mountain, that's transmitting TV, and the BBC have already switched to digital, and they switched off their analogue transmitter there in mid-August and again in September. So people living in the southeast who were getting those British channels for free, I'm afraid are going to have to subscribe now like the rest of us. But of course it won't interfere with getting the Irish channels at all.
Okay, now the ways in which you can receive TV, you've mentioned them, you've hinted at them, but just to address them specifically.
To go through it again, yeah. So you've got your free to air, that's analogue, the old-fashioned way, with the rooftop or set-top aerial, your bunny's ears. Then cable, which we all are familiar with, and MMDS. People mightn't know that phrase, but all that means is your special aerial and set-top box.
And that's analogue and digital.
You can get either analogue or digital through those means, and that's subscription based, of course, and then satellite, which is only digital. So they're the different ways we all get TV, and really interesting actually to see the different ways we do get TV. If you look at a breakdown in the country, the majority of TV licence holders in the country subscribe to satellite, 38%. and then after that 24%, which a quarter, which is really quite big, rely on the free to air, so aren't buying any further channels, but are relying on the free to air Irish analog channels. And as we said, when the move over to digital happens, the free to air will still be there. Then 17% subscribe to cable, but an analog version of cable, so they might want to move over to digital. And then 15% to digital and 6% to the set-top box and special.
Okay, we have
area.
a question. I think you've already addressed it, but I'll ask it anyway. Please ask if Freeview is going to be a thing of the past.
No, it's not. No, that's what everyone's very clear of. That Freeview for the Irish channels will still be there, even when the switchover happens. And what's very interesting as well, I mean, I was assuming initially...
But I mean, you're going to have to buy a package from somebody, though, aren't you?
Yeah,
so in that sense, if you want to see the Irish channels, I mean, you won't be able to plug in the rabbit's ears.
You won't be able to plug
you're
in
going
the
to have to subscribe to somebody.
But I mean, we pay our license fee, I suppose, to the public broadcaster and are provided with those channels for free, and that'll still happen. Now, what I suppose a bigger question is for those people who have older tellies, analog tellies, not digital ready TVs, will they have to change? Will they have to buy a new TV if you don't already have one? I think that's probably a bigger question. And what was really interesting is that when I spoke to UPC, formerly NTL and Chorus, they said, oh look, once the switchover has happened in Ireland in 2012, we'll still be providing analog packages to customers if that's what they want. And you would imagine that over time, eventually, as people replace their TVs and stuff, that will go. It'll be interesting to see how many subscribers they have to that sort of service. But already, more than half of the households have digital TV on at least one TV set, and it's the way all TV is headed.
And another question here, will RTE be available on free-to-air and satellite?
So that's the same question as the previous one, isn't it? That there still will be free to air under the new digital system.
Will we have to scrap our tellies, and will we have to scrap our present TV and buy a new one? The answer is in some instances,
yes. In some instances, yes, but in some instances, no, because as I've just said there, for example, UPC will still be providing analog services even after the switch over to digital. So if you want to keep your older television that isn't compatible with digital, then you can do so. I really don't think people need to be worrying, and certainly not yet either, because it is a little bit way off. But it is important to know that these things are coming down the road, because of course every year you should be renewing and reviewing your whatever TV package you subscribe to. That is assuming you're not one of the quarter of people who don't subscribe to anything. So if you are doing that, then you might want to look at, well, should I get a digital package, and looking into the future and things like that. Okay, let's address the prices and the different packages available now at this point. And this is where things get really frustrating, Miles, and confusing, because of course instead of being able to really clearly compare like with like, it's more difficult than that. It's like when you're comparing your mobile phone costs across the companies. They don't all provide exactly the same product in exactly the same way, so it's really difficult to compare. If you take, for example, a very standard digital high definition, and I'm taking digital high definition because it is the future as opposed to looking at the cost of an analog service. With UPC, that standard per month is going to be $27.50. Okay, that gets you, over 70 channels, if that's what you want, and there's a free connection for new customers with that. And interestingly, all of UPC's packages are digital and HD, and have the pause, record, rewind, that service that many people like.